Hello, everybody. I know last week the topic was creating compelling and dynamic headlines. So I want to continue that today a little bit and go a little bit further and talk to you a little bit about copywriting. And this is going to really help you to create really great social media posts, email blasts, copy for your website. It's really crucial and important that you have these skills. So I want to give you a run through of some of the tips that I do when I'm about to write some copy. Now, the first thing you have to do is you've got to ask yourself, who is your ideal client or customer? I want you to write this down. If you haven't done this exercise already, it's really, really crucial that you get into the mind of your client or customer and know exactly who they are. So I want you to write that down and describe them in as much detail as possible. Then the next thing I want you to do is I want you to write down all of their interests, hobbies and things that they like to do. This is really, really important that you also do this step because this is some information later on. You can keep this information and it's going to be extremely helpful if you ever want to advertise and do Facebook ads, for example, where you're able to target your ideal clients on Facebook with ads, and you need to know this information and how it pertains to what you're offering. You also want to know who are they also customers of in your niche. So for example, Heidi and I teach social media. So who would be someone in our niche that also teaches social media that's well known? And I would say at the top of my head, there would probably be somebody like Kim Garst, who's a woman who's pretty popular with social media. So by knowing that, I know that the people who like her fan page, that like her, that follow her, would also be people who would probably like what Heidi and I teach. So it's really important that you know a few people that you can identify, whether it's your local market, national market. This way, this is going to help you with writing your copy, and it's also going to help you with future advertising and targeting. And the last thing you want to do, and it's probably a little cut off on this slide, is you want to know what are their spending habits. Where are they spending money? I could ask, for example, in our niche, it would be, on information products, on seminars, on workshops, on luncheons. If I'm looking at business owners who are spending money on luncheons and networking, and you want to write these things down as well. So do this exercise. Make sure you write all of this down before you even begin or think about writing your first piece of copy. This next part is really, really important, and this can make or break you when it comes to your copy. The next thing you want to do is identify what is your ideal client's pain points, meaning what is their problem? What are they suffering from? What do they need? What is their issues that they're having? So you want to, again, take a piece of paper, write down all of their issues. So let's use some examples here. Let's say somebody wants to lose weight. That's a big pain point. What is their pain points around losing weight? You don't want to just say, well, they want to lose weight, they're overweight. We want to dive a little bit deeper than that. We want to say, okay, someone who loses weight, maybe one of their pain points is they have to lose weight because their blood pressure is up and their doctor told them they're obese and their health is suffering. Maybe it's because they want to fit in that bathing suit for the spring and summer and they're feeling, chubby and overweight. Maybe it's because they want, they're going to a wedding or to a high school reunion and they want to fit in that dress. What are some of the things that are affecting somebody in your market? That's causing them to want to take action to solve that particular problem. So write that all down and really identify and take some time with this so you know exactly what the pain points of your ideal client are. Now here's the fun part. How do you solve them? How do you solve those pain points that you just wrote down of your ideal client or customer? What do you do to help them to solve this problem? What is your unique skills, your unique product, what you're offering, your expertise? Write down all of the different things that you can do to solve the problems of your ideal client or customer. Again, I touched on this before. What are their habits and their interests? So let's go a little deeper into this particular point because it is really important. And let's identify, we were using the example of somebody who wants to lose weight. So what would be some of the habits and interests of somebody who wants to lose weight? Maybe they have the bad habit of overeating, eating fast food, eating too much, eating too fast. I mean, you want to write all these stuff down. Maybe some of their interests may be that they're looking into healthy foods. They want to be healthier. They're reading Shape magazine. They're looking into a gym membership. So you want to write all of these things down that you could possibly think of, and maybe even do a little research on Google. When you can put in the interests of somebody who would be in your ideal market. So let's use another example. Let's say somebody, who's a woman who's in business for herself. What would be some of her habits and her interests? She's obviously wanting to be educating herself, so she's probably taking some online courses about business or attending different workshops or events about business so she can open her business and network to get clients. So she's probably looking maybe into even being something like Nancy does, being certified for her particular woman-owned business. Some of her other habits, maybe she reads Entrepreneur magazine. So you want to think about what websites is she researching? Where is she spending her time online finding information about, starting a new business? So this is the line of thinking you want to, continue to write down and to compile before we begin writing the copy. Now this one's really important as well. Where do they hang out? And this can pertain both on social media and online, and as well as in the real world, where they're hanging out. So if we go back to the losing weight example, someone who's actively trying to lose weight is probably, like we said, trying to go to the gym, or maybe taking yoga classes, or investigating the latest fitness craze, or buying, T25 on late night TV. They're buying maybe new sneakers and exercise gear. Maybe they're going to Weight Watchers. They're buying, Slim Fast Shakes, or whatever they're doing. So these are places they were going to. It'd be Whole Foods would be an actual physical place. Online, if we look at it, the online thing, where, is your particular crowd hanging out? Are they in groups on Facebook talking about their issue? Maybe they're in support groups for losing weight, or for starting a business, or for learning about social media, or for photography, that they want to learn, or they're new moms and they're in, groups with other new moms for new babies. So we want to think about where our ideal client is hanging out, both online, in social media, and also in the physical real world as well. Because now we know where to find our particular tribe of people that we're going to want to target. Okay, so now we're ready to actually write our copy. We want to take all of the information that we have, and we really want to study it so we really get a really good idea who exactly we're targeting. So as we begin, and I'm going to give an example of, let's say you're writing a email blast, because you're trying to, let's say, sell a new product you have or a course. And I'm just going to use this as an example. So the first thing, knowing that you now know your market, you want to begin by capturing their attention, obviously using some of those skills you have now about creating really great headlines and using a short headline as your subject line in your email. And then you want to, when you actually write the email itself, you want to begin by identifying their pain points. So go back to your list of what their pain points are. And you want to ask a question, are you trying to lose weight? Are you frustrated and aggravated and annoyed that it's just so difficult and your metabolism doesn't seem to be cooperating with you? Or, I'm just making this up off the top of my head. So, think about that. So whoever you're targeting, start talking to them and asking them questions, just like you're talking to a person face to face. That's how you're going to write. And you want to keep whether you're writing copy now for an email or for a social media post, you want to keep these sentences very short, and you want to leave space. You want to hit the return button when you're typing. This way, when you're writing an email, that the text is easy for them to read. And even if you're doing your website, you want to have this kind of format where it's in short sound bites, like they say when you're in PR. You want to talk in sound bites. So basically, you're going to first, identify their problem, ask them about their problem, and then, I mean, this sounds terrible, but then you want to dig the knife in, and bring up the pain a little bit more, and say, I understand how you feel. It is so, whatever it may be, heart-wrenching or frustrating when you've been dieting day after day, and you step on that scale Monday morning and the scale hasn't budged. Has this happened to you? I know how you feel. See, that kind of copy is what's going to grab attention and compel somebody, and actually they're going to identify with you because now you're identifying with their pain and their problems and the things that are affecting them, and you understand. So that's how I want you to start writing when you're writing, whether it's social media, whether it's an email or a sales letter. You want to get that in there, identify the pain, again, push the button on the pain a little bit more, and then you want to say, this is how I can help. I have a new program, a new course, a new service that solves this problem for you. So, I have access to a new, I'm just to make this up, shake that if you, drink it 3 times a day, you're going to lose 10 pounds without any hunger, whatever, that kind of copy, because you're now offering the solution. This is really important too when you think about the copy, where copy goes across the board. When we're talking about copy on a website or social media, or how about in your profiles? One of the biggest mistakes people make when they're writing their profiles for LinkedIn, for Facebook, for Google Plus is talking about themselves. Again, identify the pain problem. Make it, imagine that the person you just wrote about, the person whose habits their interests where they hang out, what they do. This person. This is your customer, your client. They've hit upon your LinkedIn profile. So, obviously the first thing you've got to do is grab their attention by identifying with them and identifying their pain. So it's going to be the same, say, do you suffer from this? This is how I help you. And if you have very little space, like let's say in an Instagram profile or a Twitter profile, so there's not that many characters for you to use, immediately go into I help. I let's say if you're a realtor, I help sellers sell their homes quickly and for the best price, or something like that. So I help people lose weight without starving. You go back to the headline again and put that in there, but I help, I solve. This is what I do. This is how I can help you. And then you want to go into, obviously, how great you are and all your credentials. But you first want to be able to solve their problem. So when you're writing copy, whether it's going to be that email too, and now you've identified their pain, you've, dug it in a little deeper, you now offering the solution. Now to wind it up, you want to make them take action. It's really important they take action. So that part of it, you're going to now put in, a time limit. For the next 24 hours, my product or service is available at this price, and then it's going up in 24 hours or whatever time limit may be. And then have it linked to your website or to an email or whatever way you're selling this. And again, I'm being very vague. This is very broad because this could be, pertain to anything that you're doing on social media, website, or an email. But I want you to think in these terms about really first knowing who you're talking to, and then speaking to them like they're a friend, that you're somebody who's suffering, that you can help, and you want to have that conversation with them. You don't want to talk over their heads. You don't want to talk, with a college education degree. You want to talk to them like you talk to your best girlfriend or boyfriend, friend, and you want to talk in a simple language that's easy to understand, which that wasn't. So I hope you're getting this because it's so important. I know this is, a short training for something like this, and I don't want to overwhelm you, and I want to just give you the basics so that when you put your next social media post out, when you're writing your profiles, you're going to think differently than before. You're going to think about the person that you're targeting, that's your client or customer. And then you're going to know where they are and what their interests are because you already have written down that information. So when you're out there, deciding whether you should be spending more time on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Pinterest, for example, you're going to know, well, based on everything you wrote, that maybe you find out that your client, is basically spending most of their time on Pinterest and you haven't been spending any time there. So this is why it's so important. So I'm going to share some other things with you, but I think I would really love to see you guys write, maybe a paragraph and post it in the group. Writing to a little letter, write a little letter for your homework assignment to your ideal client. Let's say you're writing an email, dear ideal client, and I want you to use this formula of, identifying the pain, really digging in on that pain, how you solve it, and your offer for solving it. So I would love to see that. Okay, now I want to share with you, if you see these slides and you notice that I have my little picture in the bottom, I made all of these slides on a new app that I found called Typorama. And I'm pretty excited about this app. It wound up costing me to unlock all the features about $2.99. And it just has great fonts. I like this one better than WordSwag. And I know I've shared, several of these type of apps with you where you can just go in and put a keyword in and then the pictures pop up and you can overlay it. But this one has wonderful fonts that are really nice. It also has, this is the exciting part, the features it has as far as like the other ones don't, is you can actually mess with the fonts like the shading and gradients, which normally you can only do something like that on Photoshop. So this, you can really mess with the pictures too with putting filters on them and actually adjusting it and putting contrast and vignettes and all these type of things on the pictures with the text. So you really have to go and play around with it. But the greatest feature is you can upload your watermark. And I know I shared in a previous video about how to use a site called, an app called iWatermark. But this has it built in. And what's great is it remembers your watermark, as you see my little picture there, and it automatically puts them on every one that you do. You can remove it if you don't want it there, but it automatically will brand all of your social media. So if you've seen some of my social media later, which I will show you now, you'll see what I'm talking about. Now here is another app that I found that I'm going to just briefly venture off a little bit into Instagram because it's something I've just recently started paying attention to in the last week or so. But this app is called Tag for Likes. And this one identifies the most popular hashtags for Instagram based on subjects. So you can put in, the most popular of the day. You can put in, people, social, animals, whatever you're looking for, photography, anything you're looking for. It'll tell you, the most popular ones of the day. And you can use this little strategy I'm going to talk about now that will help you get more Instagram followers. So here you see we're in the app and it says popular, nature, weather, seasons. They've got like good morning, good night, and quotes and comments and all sorts of things and tags that you can get. So it's really pretty easy. And when you click on that, you'll see a whole bunch of these tags. I just copy them. Now you'll see it says tags for likes app. I erase those because I noticed that it kind of flags something on Instagram. So I've taken those out. But I take ones out that don't pertain and add ones that do in the different subjects when you're going through them. But I've noticed a big increase. I just started this last week, and I probably have 70 or 80 new Instagram followers within the week, and lots of new likes and comments on Instagram where I wasn't really paying any attention to it before. So I really see that this strategy is working. Here's an example. Now here's an example. I made this actually this morning. And I made that whole picture using the typography app that I just showed you. And you can see my little picture with the watermark I was talking about. And you could see the pretty fonts on here. If you can see, there's that one comes with all the little doodads on there, and you can change the colors and do all sorts of stuff. And you notice on the bottom, I have all the hashtags. Very important on Instagram. And I made this mistake myself. Don't put the hashtags in the post. Comment, put hashtags in the comment, and make sure you do it right away, right after you post the photo, because if you delay, it's not going to show up in the search. So make sure you put all of your go over to your app, your tags for like app, grab and copy those as soon as you post, and then make a comment and share on Instagram. And Instagram, if you're not using it now, it connects with Twitter and Facebook as well. And it's like I said, it's become more popular. There's more businesses being really successful, local businesses. I was thinking, it's more of a younger crowd, but I'm seeing a lot more activity and a lot of different age groups coming on board of Instagram. So I really think it's definitely worth paying attention to now. You can't put URLs in the posts, but you can put them in your profile, and it'll hyperlink to that. Okay, so here's just one more I had to share with you fast. I love this post. I mean, it's hard for you to see on here, but that again, completely made with typogrammy or whatever I just showed you. Just go back to the slide, my new favorite app, and you can see this beautiful fonts that they give you with they're really nice, professional looking. And I love the watermark. And this was just another example, and this one got me a lot of new followers as well. This particular people following me after I posted this one. So I want you to check that out if you want to make a nice graphic, and you can use them. You can save them right to your camera roll, so you could use these same images. And they have sizes. That's another thing I forgot. You can actually click the size for Instagram, for Facebook, and there's all different sizes. So you can create these images with your watermark on it and save it to your camera roll, so you could use them on Google Plus and LinkedIn and wherever you want to use them, not just on Instagram. Finally, again, I've showed you this before, but this entire presentation was created on Adobe Voice. And I did this on my iPhone. This is available for the iPad as well. And it's a really handy app where you can, make an entire slideshow presentation, record it, upload it to YouTube, all from your phone. I have a pair of just iPhone headphones in right now to record this with into the phone. So it's really super, super easy. So just a little quick summary. We've talked about copy today and, how to really get to know who your ideal client and customer is and get inside their head and know exactly who they are so that you can speak to them like a friend, that they can relate to you and you get to know them, and then they're going to want to, obviously people, again, buy from people they like, know, and trust. So it's really important that you fully understand who the person that you're targeting is, and how this way you can speak to them in their language through your copy. Again, whether that's on social media, your website, or your profiles. And then I showed you the typography app, which is really handy, very inexpensive, and the LinkedIn strategy. So I'd love to see you guys do a little letter to your ideal client for next week, and also make one of, if you get typography put on your phone, make a nice post and share it in the group, and then we can share each other's, which would be great. So I'm looking forward to talking to you guys soon.